Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. Introduction. The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton M. Christensen is a groundbreaking business book that explores the challenges established companies face when confronted with disruptive innovations. Through a combination of theory, case studies, and analysis, Christensen sheds light on why large, successful companies often fail to sustain their market dominance despite having every advantage. These companies struggle to adapt to disruptive technologies or business models that, at first, seem less lucrative or impactful. Christensen argues that these companies are often trapped by the very practices that initially made them successful. The book's central thesis is that good management practices, those focused on meeting customer demands and maximizing profit, can inadvertently blind companies to the innovations that could change their business landscape. Christensen presents a framework for understanding disruptive innovations and offers valuable insights into how businesses can navigate the challenges of technological change. Part 1. Disruption Theory and its Origins. Christensen introduces the core concept of disruption theory early in the book, challenging traditional assumptions about how innovation occurs in industries. Disruptive innovations are initially simpler, more affordable products or services that target a segment of the market ignored by established players. These innovations typically emerge at the bottom of the market, offering a less sophisticated solution that appeals to less demanding customers. As disruptive innovations improve over time, they gradually move up market and begin to disrupt more established competitors. Christensen contrasts disruptive innovation with sustaining innovation, which focuses on improving existing products or services to meet the demands of higher-end customers. Sustaining innovations tend to be the main focus for established companies, as they build upon existing technologies and cater to their existing customer base. However, Christensen argues that this focus on sustaining innovations can lead companies to miss out on emerging disruptive innovations, which over time can radically transform industries. Christensen presents case studies from various industries, such as disk drives and steel, to illustrate how disruptive innovations initially appeared insignificant and were often overlooked by incumbents. He argues that it is not the incompetence of established companies that leads to their downfall, but rather their over-reliance on their existing business models, which prevent them from recognizing the potential of disruptive innovations. Part 2. The Innovator's Dilemma. Why great companies fail. The main premise of the Innovator's Dilemma is that the very factors that make a company successful, such as strong customer relationships, efficient production processes, and a focus on profitability, can also create blind spots when it comes to disruptive innovations. Established companies often fail to invest in disruptive technologies because they initially target smaller, less profitable markets. Moreover, these new technologies often do not meet the immediate needs of their most profitable customers, leading companies to underestimate their potential. Christensen provides numerous examples to show that even companies with excellent management and resources are vulnerable to disruptive innovation. Companies that dominate the market with sustaining innovations may overlook the growing impact of disruptive technologies, failing to recognize that these innovations are improving quickly enough to eventually outperform their existing products. For example, the disk drive industry saw the rise of smaller, cheaper hard drives that disrupted the market, despite initially seeming inferior to larger, more powerful models. According to Christensen, companies often miss the disruptive shift because they focus too much on optimizing their existing products and services for their most demanding customers. This can cause them to overlook emerging trends in technology or customer preferences. The dilemma arises when companies, faced with new disruptive innovations, find themselves in a position where it no longer makes sense to invest in the disruptive technology. They struggle to justify the initial low returns and fail to see the long-term potential. Part 3. Managing Disruption. How to Respond. In the third section of The Innovator's Dilemma, Christensen provides recommendations for companies on how they can better manage disruption. He argues that it is essential for companies to set up separate, autonomous business units or organizations within their larger corporate structure to explore disruptive technologies. These units should operate outside the traditional processes and metrics used by the parent company which are often too focused on maintaining existing products and services. To support these disruptive efforts, companies need to be willing to experiment with new business models that may not immediately generate high profits, but can offer long-term growth potential. Christensen stresses that companies should not be afraid to target emerging markets, even if they seem smaller or less profitable at first. By creating a distinct division that can experiment with new products, companies are more likely to identify and capitalize on disruptive innovations before their competitors do. Christensen also emphasizes the importance of understanding the job to be done by customers. Rather than focusing on incremental improvements to existing products, companies should think about what customers truly need and how disruptive technologies can better serve these needs. By embracing a broader view of innovation, companies can position themselves to anticipate disruptions and take advantage of new opportunities. Part 4. The role of management and organizational culture. An essential part of Christensen's thesis revolves around how management practices and organizational culture influence a company's ability to innovate. He argues that managers often find themselves trapped by their own success, leading them to focus primarily on meeting the current demands of their most profitable customers. This focus on sustaining innovations can limit a company's ability to explore disruptive opportunities. Furthermore, Christensen asserts that the culture within a company can shape how it responds to disruptive technologies. In many cases, companies become entrenched in established ways of doing business, making it difficult to embrace new technologies that may initially seem inferior or less profitable. Managers may fear the uncertainty associated with disruptive innovation and prefer to focus on what has worked in the past. Christensen's book also touches on the role of organizational structure in fostering innovation. He advocates for the creation of independent business units that have the flexibility to experiment with new ideas and technologies without being constrained by the demands of the parent company. By adopting a more decentralized approach to innovation, companies can better adapt to the changing business landscape. Part 5. Real-world applications. Case studies and examples. To further illustrate his points, Christensen draws on a wide range of case studies from various industries. One of the most cited examples is the disk drive industry, where established companies failed to recognize the potential of smaller, cheaper drives that eventually took over the market. Similarly, Christensen looks at the steel industry and how smaller, newer companies were able to disrupt larger, established players by adopting new technologies that initially seemed less effective. Christensen also examines the rise of personal computers and the challenges faced by established mainframe computer companies. Despite having powerful, expensive machines that dominated the market, these companies were unable to capitalize on the growth of personal computing, which began as a low-end market and eventually disrupted the entire industry. Through these case studies, Christensen emphasizes the idea that disruptive innovations often start small and initially appear inferior to existing products. However, over time they improve and evolve, eventually surpassing incumbent technologies in terms of performance and customer adoption. The key takeaway from these examples is that companies must be willing to embrace uncertainty and take risks on innovations that may not initially seem profitable, but hold long-term potential. Part 6. Innovating for the Future. Beyond Disruption. In the final section of The Innovator's Dilemma, Christensen explores how companies can build a strategy that embraces both sustaining and disruptive innovations. He argues that while sustaining innovations are crucial for maintaining a company's position in the market, companies must also develop the capability to manage disruptive innovations that can reshape entire industries. Christensen proposes that companies create a balanced innovation portfolio that includes both sustaining and disruptive innovations. This will allow them to continue improving their existing products and services while also exploring new opportunities for growth. He stresses that companies must remain agile and open to change, always looking for ways to disrupt themselves before someone else does. Conclusion. Embracing the Innovator's Dilemma. The Innovator's Dilemma is a profound exploration of the forces that shape industries and businesses. Christensen's insights into disruptive innovation have become a critical part of modern business thinking, offering valuable guidance for companies striving to remain relevant in an ever-changing marketplace. The book challenges conventional wisdom about innovation and provides a roadmap for businesses to navigate disruption and emerge successful. As we've seen, disruptive innovations are often not immediately profitable and can initially seem unappealing. However, their long-term potential can be enormous, and businesses that fail to recognize this risk being left behind. By creating a culture that encourages experimentation, flexibility, and a willingness to explore disruptive technologies, companies can better position themselves for future success. How can companies effectively balance their focus on sustaining innovations while also exploring disruptive technologies? In your opinion, what are some of the biggest challenges companies face when attempting to adopt disruptive innovations? Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. That's it for today's 10 Minutes Gold Mine. If you find value in this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload +5 videos each day. Lastly, if you have any book in mind that you want to listen to, feel free to type the name in the comments. See you in the next one.